Hi everyone, this is Jaini Jailin for another Celestial Travels vlog. Today we're going to be talking about Parks and Recreation, which is or Parks and Recreation, which is a comedy show that we just started getting into. As you guys know, we kind of go through like the binging with the shows. Like if we find a show that we really like, then if it's on Netflix or some way that we can get our hands on multiple episodes, then we will like watch all of them in rapid succession. So that's what happened with Parks and Recreation. We saw one episode, and because you hear buzz about certain things and you go and check it out, and for the kind of work that we do, it's really helpful to do that kind of stuff and to really get to know the different shows and characters and what's big on pop culture, like what are people really liking, and so it's interesting, fascinating stuff. So we found Parks and Recreations and we started watching it on Netflix, and so I think we've like in a span of like a night, or may have been two nights, we've watched several seasons. So yeah, we're enjoying the show. So the show revolves, Parks and Recreation is a comedy. It revolves around Leslie Knope, the deputy director of the Parks and Recreations department in this fictional town in Indiana, town of Pawnee, Indiana. So the cast of characters, main one is Leslie Knope, who she's like a mid-level bureaucrat who has, is good-natured. Like she's ambitious. She loves her town of Pawnee. She wants to make it happen, but she can get pretty scattered and neurotic at times, or like daffy. And so that then shenanigans ensue from that. But she has a good heart and she means well. And that's the main character. And she's optimistic, so she doesn't let the politics, that can, she knew from the get-go that it was going to be a grind. Like she was forewarned by her friend that this was going to be a grind, and she's like, well, I believe in it, I'm going to do it anyways, I'm prepared for it. And so she always like approaches it with a sense of optimism with her knee. Or in fact, her ultimate goal is still to become the President of the United States. And Leslie Knope is played by Nizai Amy Poehler. She's a main character. Then there's she's a recurring, not a regular character, but she shows up in several episodes and is important to the main character. So I'll mention her here because she's related to her. And it's Marlene Griggs Knope, the mother of the show's protagonist, Leslie Knope, and she's an important political figure in the school system in the town of Pawnee, Indiana, where Leslie is also working as in the Parks and Recreations department. So the contrast, and I'll talk about it a little more, but she's different than Leslie. Her approach to things, she's not like that, good-natured, like optimistic, things are going to work out kind of person. She's more of like a tough and shrewd politician who's willing to resort to any means to get what she needs to get done. And she's played by Nizai Pamela Reed. Then there's Ann Perkins, who's a nurse and a political outsider. Then she gradually becomes more involved throughout the seasons in Pawnee's government through her friendship to Leslie Knope, played by Amy Poehler. And Ann Perkins is played by Nizai Rashida Jones. Then there's Tom Haverford, and this is Leslie's sarcastic and underachieving subordinate. He works for her, who eventually begins to consider leaving his city hall job to pursue his own entrepreneurial interests. And he's it's funny, he has a funny story, like he's married to this really attractive, hot woman, and who other people find really appealing and stuff, but he he's apparently just married so she can stay in the country. So he keeps like trying to hit on other women still. Like he's unsuccessfully, and he's played by Nijai Aziz Ansari. Really funny. Then there's Ron Swanson, and he's the Parks and Recreation's director. He's a head and he has in his political views, he's very libertarian. So he believes, which is funny because he's the director of the Parks and Recreation, but he believes that the government should be staying out of your life. So he sort of, because of that, he sort of strives for his department to be as kind of as ineffective as possible, and he favors hiring employees who have sort of that kind of like more
don't try.
Yeah, don't try. Yeah, don't try as much. Exactly, because they're good people, but they don't try as much, and they kind of like.
Leslie tries though.
Yeah, she tries.
He likes her, but she does try, which is.
But she's doing it in a way that he finds more palatable, like the
normal.
He
doesn't like when they try.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like when they no. He's like, but he tries to protect his people. So he secretly, like, he really cares for the people that work for him, and he always tries to protect them, like the Papa Bear, and so he's Papa Dragon. Yeah, he's a dragon that's got game. He's like a smooth operator. So you find out things about him. You know, like he plays sax. He's like the leader of this band. Plays saxophone, and Ron Swanson is played by Nick Offerman. Yeah, so yeah, interesting character. Then there's Tammy Swanson, who's one of Ron Swanson's ex-wives. She's one of the ex-wives of Ron Swanson, who's also called Tammy. There's another one. Tammy Swanson, she's a librarian, so she works in the, apparently there's the library, and it's the most hated department in the whole system. And she is the head of it and representative of it. And so, and she's sort of the foil, she plays the foil of Leslie Knope a lot of times on what Leslie Knope wants to start this park and stuff, and she gets, shade from Tammy Swanson, who has her own agenda, and because of her own agenda, and because she likes to create drama, her paths cross with Ron quite often, and they have a tempestuous relationship. And Tammy Swanson is played by Nizai Megan Mullally. And then there's April Ludgate, who's really funny. She's like this cynical, despondent, sort of quirky, wacky intern for the department, who eventually becomes the perfect assistant to Ron. And they said actually the way that she got the part is that the casting director came to the creator of the show and said, "I just met the weirdest girl that I've ever met in my life. You have to meet her and put her on the show." So she definitely, like, the whole cast is great, and she really plays her part really well. And really, like, because all of them have gusto in it. It's great.
She does a lot with nonverbal.
Yeah, she does. She has really expressive eyes.
And her shy, too.
And
because she's very moody.
Yeah.
But she has like a bunch of eye rolls.
Yeah, because she's played by Nijai Aubrey Plaza. Then there's Mark Brendanachik or something like that. Brendanovich. Thank you. Mark Brendanovich. So he's a city planner who entered the field, Parks and Recreation, with a sense of optimism, but then he became jaded and disillusioned, so he's more of like the jaded, affable slacker now. He actually left in the second season, but since we've been catching it from the beginning, like he shows up from the beginning, and he's played by Nizi.
Does he go away?
Yeah, because he went to pursue a film career, which I don't know much about. I don't know when second season was, but I don't recall watching him in movies. Yeah, may be developing certain things. But he's played by Nizi Paul Schneider. Then you have Andy Dwyer, and he's really funny. He's like a wacky, goofy slacker. He's always like doing these wacky antics, and he was originally meant to be a guest star, but he he was the producers. They liked Pratt so much that almost immediately after casting him, they made him a regular character, a regular cast member, and he's played by Naiji Chris Pratt.
He owns like any scene he's in.
Yeah.
He does the weirdest shit, and just it makes sense for his character.
He highlights the absurdity of things. You know, he just really like he's sort of the from Star Trek, the Q in a way.
A bit.
Does he like bring chaos sometimes?
He does. He brings chaos. But also
witness. He's
a little
also
Don Quixote.
Yeah.
He's kind of his wannabe rock and roll lifestyle. He kind of tilts at windmills.
He does.
What's that thing? I don't know if this character does this, but he lives in like the shabbiest way, but he makes it seem like it's way better than it is.
Yeah,
I don't know, like
is.
it's like an impervious like optimism on things.
He does have this impervious like. You know, nothing can get
This
to
is
me.
going the way I
This is
want.
going the way I'm the captain of my ship.
Yes, that's it.
And things are going exactly as they're supposed to. Then you have Jerry Gergich, and so these last the ones that I'm going to mention, they're sort of more of background supporting characters. They do get fleshed out later in later seasons, which we haven't gotten to yet. But from my research, my interwebs research, that's what it says. But Jerry Gergich, he works for the department, and he's a married father of 3. He's often the butt of jokes because of his, that he has like an embarrassing story, like awkward moments, like plastic surgery after being hit by a fire truck, routinely spilling his cup of soup, being adopted by a woman arrested for selling marijuana. And I don't think these things are necessarily like would get someone to be a butt of jokes, but I guess he's more unassertive or
Right.
more he's not as assertive, and because of that, people don't have a lot of respect for him, so they
tease him.
They tease him, yeah. But he has a normal family life and excellent artistic talent. It's even like in the mural. Remember in the mural competition, he painted like a beautiful example of pointillism and everything, and they still, because it's so funny, they can't see past something, they like dismiss the mural in favor of something else, which is like more ridiculous. Thus comedy ensues from that. But he's played by Jinai Jim O'Hare. And then you have another supporting background character, Donna Meagle, who's also an employee in the department, and she's one of the people who volunteered to help Leslie Knope, Amy Poehler, to run for a successful campaign for city council. But she does funny things. She's an African American, and she once unwittingly donated money to David Duke, former Grand Wizard of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan, because she received a campaign phone call promising lower taxes. So she's played by Jivai Reda. So that's the cast, the main cast. And as far as Mojos, you have Forney Zai, Amy Poehler, Pamela Reed, Rashida Jones, and Megan Mullally. And then you have Tuni Jai, Aubrey Plaza, and Aziz Ansari. You have Tunai Z, Nick Offerman, and Mark Brendanovich.
No, that's the character.
What's that? Oh, sorry, it's Nick Offerman and Paul Schneider. Yep. Then you have Naiji Chris Pratt. You have Jinai Jim O'Hare, and later on I hear Rob Lowe joins in too as like an overly positive and nutritionally fitness conscious Department of Parks and Recreation's employee. And then you have Jivai Reda. And it's interesting. So you have the cast is mostly Nez Alpha, and then you have the Jez Alpha more as background supporting characters, and then within the split of the Nez Alpha, so it seems like the Nezes are the main characters, and they have the inspirational storylines. Like Rashida Jones has inspirational storyline, sort of a romance with Paul Schneider's character, and Amy Poehler also has some inspirational ties with that character, although it's not, it has been consummated in some kisses, but it hasn't gone further than that. So then he actually went on to date Rashida Jones' character. But then there's Megan Mullally with Nick Offerman. They have their tempestuous on and off inspirational story going on, and then you have but the Nigez, they have more of like. They're not inspirational because even you have episodes where like Nijai Aubrey Plaza is like hanging out with Naiji Chris Pratt, but they're sort of like they're talking about their misfortunes and relationships, so they're both like guarded and mostly like creating like just playful scenarios, adventures, and doing.
May develop into something, but so far they're more wacky.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Aziz.
And then you have Aziz Ansari, and he just like does his crazy Don Juan, foiled Don Juan game. Poor guy. But yeah, so I think that's the pretty much the rundown of the show. So we are catching up on it. After tonight, once we finish our push, we'll be continuing our consuming of Parks and Recreation.
You should revisit this.
Yeah.
After Rob Lowe comes in.
Yeah. I'll revisit Parks and Recreation to let you know how things change. So far,
he's a big star.
Yeah, he's a big star. It'd be
interesting
how he affects the dynamics of the storyline, because right now it's mostly centered off of Leslie Knope and her, like. Her agenda or things that come up in her world. Though? No, actually, there are writers. When they met, the writers and creators of Parks and Recreations met her, they revamped or they came up with the concept and the characters for the show. She actually inspired them.
Gotcha.
So, and they wrote it around her.
So okay. So then when he comes in, Rob Lowe comes in, she'll still then would hold out.
Yeah, you'd think so, but it'd be interesting. I mean, because there's also a fact of like how the audience responds to it and whether they want more involvement and more him to have more top billing, and then that would be pressure on the writers and producers to maybe change things up. So that would
be interesting to see also curious. Like a Gina interacting with, because there's the G Alpha now, they're supporting only.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see like a strong G9 energy presence interact with Nai Z and Nizai.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
When does he come in? When does he come in? Did it say?
He comes in, I believe, either season 2 or after season. It's actually after season 2, I believe. Yeah, he comes in. There's someone else who comes in there's another Nai Z who comes in as well.
Cool.
I think probably takes. The role that's been left by Paul Schneider, leaving.
Who's that? That's coming in?
That's a good question. It is Parks and Recreations. IMDb is my friend.
Have we read them?
Yes, we have. They are Adam Scott. Scott.
Gotcha.
You know who Woody looks like, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, this dude. He looks sort of Elvin.
Yeah.
Elvin Nizey.
He does look kind of like your more like classic sort of leading man Nizey in a way. Comedic prospect, but leading man. So it does. He probably is going to replace
Paul Schneider.
Because he was the player.
Yeah, he was the player. He was like more of the leading man.
Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, funny but leading.
Romantic lead, and yep. Cool. So I will revisit once we get into later seasons to let you know how the show's changed up.
The low years. That was horrible. I apologize to everybody.
That's cool. Because it's you.
Thank you. The low years with the E.
So.
Doesn't get
Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Bye.